Very good evening to you. I'm Pearson Bowen. The Barbados Investors and Policyholders Alliance has been responding to the latest suggestion for resolution made by the judicial managers of CLICO Holdings. Lisa Broom has more.
In its latest report dated December 12th, the judicial managers, Deloitte Consulting Limited, said after not receiving the required funding, it now has no alternative but to recommend liquidation of the company. BIPA President June Fowler says while she understands the judicial manager's position, liquidation is not a good move.
It's a spoiler for our Christmas because it is the week before Christmas that he has dropped this in our laps, and I have already gotten a few calls from persons who are currently getting their pensions. I want to know if their pensions will be halted. People are asking what's going to happen to our premiums that we're paying right now. So I think the phones will continue to ring with policyholders asking questions.
Ms. Fowler explains that no final decision can be taken in the matter without first consulting the policyholders. She says when that happens, their position will be to explore the other alternative of selling the company.
We've waited too long, and you know, back in 2012 when the first options were discussed and we had a lot of consultation, at the time the value of the assets were way better than they are right now. And I think at the time we were looking at if there was a liquidation, policyholders would have received about 60 cents in the dollar. Today we don't even know what that valuation is because we don't have the current numbers that were revised by the actuaries. So if we make an assumption that today the value is 20 cents, that is nonsense.
The recommendation for liquidation was among other solutions in the report submitted to the High Court by the judicial manager on August 25th this year. Lisa Broom, CBC News.
CLICO will get the initial capitalization it requires through a new company set up by government. This assurance from government, which says it is committed to the court-approved restructuring plan for CLICO International Life and its associated companies. A release from the Government Information Service says government, through the Ministry of Finance and Economic Affairs, has established a new company to initiate and manage its participation in the restructuring plan. That company has a board of directors chaired by financial analyst Clennell Goodman. The directors were briefed and appraised of their mandate during their first meeting with the Prime Minister of Finance, Chris Sinclair, and senior officials of his ministry last Thursday, December the 11th. And they are expected to meet with the judicial managers to be fully apprised as to the current administrative and financial status of CLICO. Once this part of the process is complete, the initial short-term capitalization of CLICO through the new company will commence. Barbados will not meet the early childhood education aspect of the UNESCO Education for All goals set by 2015 as stipulated. However, the specifications for that particular objective will be met by 2018. This assurance from Minister of Education, Ronald Jones. He says the two-year delay is due largely to economic challenges and points out that Barbados has completed all other goals outlined by the Education for All initiative. Mr. Jones was speaking at the groundbreaking ceremony of a nursery school at Gull Hill, Christchurch, which is being built by the Maria Holder Memorial Trust and is expected to be complete next year.
We've recently prepared for UNESCO Barbados' total involvement in the program. And the area for which we fell down, in other words, we were not going to be able to meet that objective by 2015. That is in the area of early childhood care and development. All the other areas we had satisfied before. So it was just a matter of maintaining quality, maintaining that trajectory, and working on early childhood care and development, early childhood care and education.
Well, in an effort to meet the standards required by UNESCO, the Minister of Education is working with the Maria Holder Memorial Trust to combat issues surrounding nursery education. Mr. Jones says plans are already being made to construct other nursery schools in the parishes of St. James, St. Michael and St. Philip. He says over the years, the constant economic changes have threatened the development of early childhood education.
There are always changes in the environment, in the financial landscape, and the economic dilemmas or aid to this period has affected that movement in some way. In Barbados, we had committed to satisfying early childhood education initiatives by 2015. That was part of what we call the CARICOM initiative, right across the English-speaking Caribbean.
Prime Minister Frendel Stuart has described the news that the United States will re-establish a diplomatic relationship with Cuba and the easing of economic and travel restrictions as a positive and forward-looking step. He was reacting to yesterday's announcement by U.S. President Barack Obama about the intention to ease restrictions on Cuba. In an interview with the Barbados Government Information Service, Mr. Stuart said that at the recently concluded Cuba CARICOM summit, he'd addressed the long-standing issue in a plenary session, pointing out that the protracted standoff between the United States and Cuba had reached the stage where it had become sinful. The Prime Minister said President Obama's announcement added to the historicity of his presidency and highlighted the capacity of an American president to respond to the imperatives of history. Mr. Stuart said the people of Cuba endured a long, dark night of isolation in relation to the United States, and that they too will be glad to know that that long, dark night is issuing into a bright new dawn in the relationship between the two countries. In recent years, many have been turned off from erecting lights at Christmas because of the economic recession. But as Sean Farrell reports now, there are still several bright spots to be found around the island during the Yuletide season.
Scores of Barbadians still travel around the island to see the lights during the Yuletide season. And householders like Wendell Clark from Allendale, St. Lucie, make an extra effort to ensure they are not disappointed.
And we take it from a religious perspective, a Christian perspective. At the same time, children and people in the community take the opportunity to enjoy the pretty lights. It's a lot of work, but of course, we enjoy it and we like doing this for our community.
This display has been erected by Anthony White, who lives at Station Hill, St. Peter. At the time of the interview, it was still a work in progress.
I am attracted to lights from young. And I start gathering yearly. Every year I would add something. I don't just buy any lights, but I like Pacific lights.
Mr. White says he's noticed that interest in lights has dimmed over the years.
The money is not coming the way it used to. So, you know, people just conserving, you know, just to get the ham and the turkey and, you know, the basics.
But recession or not, this St. James resident says Christmas lights must be part of her celebrations. What's more, her birthday is on the 26th of December.
My name is Deborah. I live in Pitts Village. And I do this every year because I love Christmas. The economy doesn't matter to me because I'm a Christian and God is my provider. He knows why I like to celebrate Christmas, so don't worry about the current bill. It will be paid.
She says it takes about 2 weeks to set up the display, which she enjoys with friends and family.
I start from the front and go right down to the side and all around the back. Even in the backyard, I have lights. Christmas is about family too. So the rest of my time I spend with family. I go to church every Christmas morning at 5 o'clock. And then I have breakfast with a family member. Then the next day is my birthday. I eat at another family member. I have a lot of family from here to St. Joseph.
Over in St. George, Joshua Worm has turned his display into a show and is inviting the public to visit his home to watch.
We are currently near St. Jude's in St. George, just above Gun Hill. This display actually took me roughly about 2 to 3 weeks to put up, but it took me roughly 3 months to actually program that song. It's a computer program that I use to coordinate all the lights, the music. How I do it, I run 16 different extension cords from the computer to everywhere on my display. And each one I can control individually.
For 15 years, Juliet Worrell of number 10 Calendars Crescent Christchurch has been decorating her home at Christmas time.
My real reason for doing it is I like to portray ornaments that depict characters that the kids love. As you can see, there's the Star Wars, there's the Disney, and there's Sesame Street. And everything I do, I depict the kids. That's what I like to do. just for the kids.
Ms. Worrell says she tries to change the display every year to make it more appealing and intends to continue doing so for many more years.
We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
And the same to you. More news ahead after this break, but first, we want to hear from you on this question. Do you believe policyholders will get any money from CLECO? Text yes or no to the short code 8111. Those results are coming up at the end of the news.
Dear Clark, I've made a fascinating discovery. The institutional water cooler. Its gravitational pull sucks people from their workstations at the busiest times of day to stand around it and chat about emerging global trends like, will pink be in fashion next season? Meanwhile, the world slows to a stop as it waits in line to be served. I don't see that trend at Globe Finance.
Globe Finance. Think outside the bank.
When it comes to their financial service, slow is out, swift is in.
Sale, sale, sale at Shoemax. The place to go for ladies' footwear is Shoemax at Dowell's House, Palmetto Street. For work, casual, school, and wide-width shoes for maximum value on lady shoes and selected items for only $29.95. Go to Shoemax, Dowell's House, Palmetto Street.
Deck the halls with all ye faithful, joy to all the three wise men. Hark the herald, Frosty the snowman. Deck the halls with balls of holly. La 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 la.
Upgrade your database. Sign up or upgrade to Lime 4G data and talk free. Upgrade Christmas with Lime.
Make this Christmas a delicious Byco Christmas. Treat yourself and the family to all flavors of Double Delight 5-liter sizes at $57.99 and all 2.5-liter sizes at just $36.99 VAT inclusive. And just in time for the season, Byco Christmas Pudding Ice Cream is now available. Get yours today. This offer available for a limited time only from participating retailers, Byco Mobilers, and Byco Direct Outlet. Merry Christmas from Byco.
Deck the halls with Christmas spirit. La, 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 la. Make your Christmas bright and merry. La, 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 la. We're getting in the spirit at My Cave Shepherd. Crossing off your list at My Cave Shepherd. The best Christmas gifts at My Cave Shepherd. Meet me for memories at My Cave Shepherd. Unwrap all your Christmas treasures. La, 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 la. Meet me here at My Cave Shepherd.
It's been 5 years in the making, but books detailing the culinary adventures of a local author have been launched. And Rosemary Parkinson was busy signing copies of her book, Barbados Bun Bun, at the Barbados Golf Club yesterday. She says there was so much material that she decided to produce 2 volumes. Ms. Parkinson also revealed the reasoning behind the book's title.
I always try with my books to use a colloquial name that is being forgotten, and of course Bun Bun is one of those. And as many Barbadians know, although some of the young people don't, that the Bun Bun is the bottom of the pot where all the ingredient or all the good things that are in the pot are left behind. And in the old days that was given to the head of the household or for special guests that came to the home.
Well, children of the incarcerated will continue to have the privilege of receiving their Christmas gifts from their fathers who are in prison. Head of the Prison Fellowship, Thomas Watts, says last year was the first time the children were surprised to receive gifts from their fathers. He made that announcement at Scotiabank's presentation of gifts to the Prison Fellowship's Angel Tree program.
The superintendent of prison give me the privilege to carry this same gift into the prison to give to the father, to give to the children. It's a joy to see it. It happened last year, and tears come to my eyes. It was my best 30 years in this work. Last Christmas that gone. And this one would be better. So may God bless you, and I thank everybody that come on board with Scotiabank and help us. God bless you.
Well, manager of Scotiabank Warrens, Jacqueline Ferdinand, also announced that Scotiabank employees have donated over $14,000 to worthwhile causes, one of them being the Angel Tree program. Ms. Ferdinand says employee volunteerism and community engagement are highly cherished values at Scotiabank.
These gifts you see here today come straight from our staff members on the individual level. They got the angels and they've thought as to what would be the best gifts for the children. And then they went out and bought many of these gifts. The staff spirit of giving was so strong that even our customers caught the infectious spirit and joined the staff to donate gifts as well.
Christmas came early for patients in the pediatric ward of the Queen Elizabeth Hospital today when Governor General Sir Elliot Belgrave and Lady Belgrave visited Ward C7 and handed out wrapped gifts. On entering the hospital, they were met by Chief Executive Officer Dr. Dexter James, Chairman Joseph King and other members of the executive staff. They were first serenaded by the St. Leonard's Boys Choir before heading to the ward. Accompanied by nurses and doctors on that ward, Sir Elliot and Lady Belgrave met each child and even stopped to speak to their parents. Visiting the hospital is an annual event for the Governor General. Regional news next, but first a reminder that we'd like to hear from you on this question. Do you believe policyholders will get any money from CLECO? Text yes or no to the short code 8111. The results are coming up. You can also follow CBC News on Twitter at CBC_Barbados and on Facebook, CBC News Barbados.